on your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
As a parent, your life is your child.
With Luke, he's the whole world, you know?
He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and it just rips your heart out. You feel completely helpless.
But when you come to St. Jude, that is a whole nother level of care.
You have cutting-edge scientific research here, doctors at the top of their game, and there's nothing but love in everything that they do.
I asked my wife, I was like, what is this going to cost us? And then we did a little bit of research, and then we realized that no family ever receives a bill.
St. Jude covers the cost of everything so that we could focus on our family. St. Jude gave our family the chance to be together. They saved our son's life, and we did not pay a cent. And that wouldn't have been possible without St. Jude.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Okay. Good morning, Kingston. Good morning, Rick Remsnyder.
Lawrence, how are you this morning?
I'm good. I was doing good until I saw the news last night. God, our president is a joke.
It's just terrible.
Yeah, it's really sad, especially when those soldiers didn't have to be killed, and you know I don't know, whoever is in charge, commanders over there, were telling him, hey, move these guys on Monday, and then certainly enough, Thursday they're dead. But
yeah, it's just my father was in the military. He retired. He was a full colonel after 27 years, and God rest his soul. He must just be.
I know, it's just terrible, man.
It was needless, and
I know a bunch of people that served, not like people that served in like Desert Storm, and they were Democrats, and now they're Republican, and they're just appalled. They're just like, man, 20 years over. I mean, this one guy lost his eye. Another guy lost he's on disability still. I mean, it's hard to want to join the services today when you got a commander-in-chief that doesn't really have your back. So,
well, we got 4 more days. Hopefully, by August 31st, everybody will be home. The loss is just senseless, terrible, and I just hope everybody else gets out safe. And
yes, me too.
It's even the president said last night that chances are they're going to leave people behind, which I don't know how they're going to get them once the military's out. I don't know.
The other day they got 15,000 people out, and now American Airlines or United, one of them, and Southwest is also helping getting people out. So let's just hope it all happens. Anyway, on to more things that we can actually control. Who do we got on tap today?
Got a really good show. Brian Bonesteel, who is, as you well know, the owner of Green Acres.
Yeah, and he did a wonderful job with that course. I actually had a chance to play it about, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and you were right, man. It is like a joy to play now. Nice. He did a really good job. When you're driving down that 6th hole or whatever it is, and it'd be in the cart, you'd be like, remember the old corn? Because they were where the corn was. Yeah. That is completely gone now, or at least it is in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he did a really, really good job with fixing that place up. So kudos to Brian on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about how the season went. I know it went well, and we can talk about some of the more changes he has planned. He has a lot of changes, so he's doing it the right way. You know, he's taking on one little project at a time. Like he put in some ponds, and I put in a new hole. How'd you like that par 3, number 7 over the water?
I love it.
Great hole.
Yeah. Though I went in the drink on the first shot, but
yeah, you got to keep a left there if you're not on the green.
Listen, on the tee box, I cannot hit it straight. It either goes left or right. But get me 100 yards out from the hole, and I'll stick. 100 yards out from the green, and I'll stick the green every time. And I'm a terrible putter too. So when you have 2 out of 3 things that don't work, I can't drive, I can't putt. I could only chip from 100 yards out.
Well, you got to get out there more. That's
I do. When I lived in Florida, I played 4 times a week. I just don't. I don't know. And it's been very hot this summer. You know, playing golf in the heat, in the you know.
It has been. Today, I think we're fine. After today, it looks the high is going to be 72 tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I was looking at the long range, and it looks really good. The fall weather is coming just around the corner.
Good, because football season starts soon. My fantasy draft is Sunday. Yeah, today it's 88. Tomorrow 75, and then. Actually, tonight, 64. Oh, we're getting a little bit of rain tonight. So, not a lot, though. Tonight, 64 at night. Tomorrow, 75, 64 at night. Sunday, back to 81 again. Monday, 84. Tuesday, 82. I mean, I guess this forecast is...
Yeah,
you really can only look at a 3-day weather forecast anymore because it changes so much, so...
I know. But
yes, cooler days are on the horizon, and that's going to be nice.
It's been hot, so...
It has.
And also at 8, I'm very excited. We have Dr. Richard Kapler, who's the chairman of the Hudson Valley Garlic Festival, and Pat Pretorious, the PR person. So he'll be in studio. They'll be in studio at 8. And so we can talk about the Garlic Festival, which is coming up. Unfortunately, just like...
That's in Saugerties, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and when is that? What's the date on that? It's in October, isn't it?
Yeah, they changed
it. The Kiwanis Club still runs that, right?
Yes, the Saugerties Kiwanis Club. I believe it's the first week
we need to do something
of October. Let me pull this up. This year is...
I think it's the week before Tony, the Italian Fest.
Yeah, it's October 2nd.
Yep, that's
and
it.
3rd.
It's a Sunday, right? Oh no, it's that whole weekend, right?
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So
the Italian Fest this year is, I think, the 10th. So, yeah, it's the Garlic Festival is the week before that.
So that'll be a lot of fun talking to Dr. Kapler, who's been involved in the Garlic Festival since I believe the early 90s. And then at around 8:40, 8:45, we're going to have Tamara Murray from the Emerson Resort and Spa call in and talk about some of the things going on in Emerson. So we got a really good tourism golf show lined up. So we need to talk about, before the guests come in, you and I off air were talking about how sad it was that we lost Charlie Watts.
Yeah.
80 years old, the drummer of the Rolling Stones, and the tributes were just really nice.
And 2 weeks ago, you were telling me that he didn't want to go on tour because he just wasn't up to it this year.
Yeah, they said
you're going to see the Stones in Pittsburgh, right?
Yep, we're going. Unfortunately, the Stones their promoter announced that even though Charlie's not going to be, obviously has passed away, that the American tour is going to go on. So I got tickets. My son and I are going to Pittsburgh, and we're thinking about going to another show in Detroit, possibly. So, this is, for all Rolling Stones fans out there, this has got to be the last time they're coming to the United States because,
Yeah, I mean, Mick Jagger's 78.
Yeah, and Keith, he's right around the same age.
If you would have asked anyone, a Stones fan or any person that knows anything to do about the Stones, you would ask, who's the first Rolling Stone that's going to die? Everybody would have said Keith Richards.
I know.
He's still kicking.
I know. He's still got a lot of energy.
Musician. He's a good musician.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing that drives me crazy, though, about the media. They had NBC Nightly News, had a nice little 2-minute piece on Charlie Watts near the end of the show. So whoever who was doing the spot, it was a good spot, nice shots of Charlie and an interview from a while ago. Then they say Ron Woods, the bassist of the Rolling Stones, said this. What? Ron Woods is one of the lead guitarists along with, Keith Richards. How can national news and all the fact checkers, how can they get that wrong? I mean, it's just mind-boggling.
I mean, you worked at the Freeman for years, many, many years. Didn't you vet a story before you wrote one?
Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes.
Of course, everybody gets once in a while, but...
The nightly news with all the fact checkers and
I know, yeah,
and that's a glare. Any Rolling Stones fan that saw that had to be just going, yeah, really? Come on, you guys.
Yeah,
but anyway,
you can't tank that one.
No,
but that happens every once in a while. You report some wrong information, and God knows I know when you were at the Freeman, stories were. Sometimes I read stuff in the Freeman. I'm like, that's not true. Not saying that they're a bad newspaper. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't need to jump into things before. I do read the Freeman occasionally. I don't have a subscription to it. I don't think it's worth getting a subscription. I read the New York Post, and I like the USA Today too. But yeah, sometimes they don't vet stories properly, and I think that's what happened with.
Well, it's one of the things about local newspapers is. The staffs are so small now. I was listening to Hugh Reynolds the other day, and he was complaining about something not to a reporter that he saw on the street, and Hugh said, to paraphrase, "You guys got to get this right." And the reporter, I don't know who it was, said, "Us guys, we only got like 12 full-time people in the entire
wow." And
plant.
they're over now. They're over here. They're in the Ryan Roach and Ryan building.
Yep.
I don't know if they're on the second floor because the law office is still there,
right?
Or at least the sign is up that's still there. I don't see too many cars in the back parking lot, but
it's a little sad because I worked.
It is. I mean, the Freeman used to be a lot thicker of a newspaper too. I mean, the Sunday Freeman used to be like heavy. I remember as a kid they used to deliver it to the house, and that thing was thick. So
when I left the Freeman in 1990 to go to work for Gannett Newspapers in White Plains, we had started a Northern Duchess edition, and some of it was giveaway papers at the beginning. But the Sunday circulation was over 35,000. Now I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 or 16,000. I mean, it's just Obviously, they're still making money because they're still in business, but the circulation is down more than half from when I was there, and that's for newspapers all over.
And the
country.
newspaper's expensive now too. The Freeman is not cheap, man.
No, none of. I mean, I pick up the Post $2.
Yeah.
I used when I moved a couple of years ago. I got rid of a bunch of newspapers, but for some reason I had some old Posts. The size of the newspaper, the Post used to be like this.
A lot bigger, yeah.
It was thick and it was big.
Eli's first Super Bowl, which was 2007, I was looking at, I have the front page of that after he won, and I had it on my desk the other day. I was like, I should maybe put this in a frame. And I said, my mom just put the Post on my desk because she had got done reading it. And I was like, wow, that thing is a lot bigger. And I was like, what, did they make a bigger issue because they won the Super Bowl? And then I looked later on because my dad had some stuff, and the Post was a lot bigger back then.
Yeah, well, all the newspapers were. I started the newspaper business at Middletown Record, and I had some old records, and it was the same thing. It was huge, and used to be 25, 30. We can go back. Used to be this, used to be that, but now it's to pick up the Middletown Record, which I like to read occasionally, is $2 daily, and there's not a heck of a lot in it, and it's like. All the news is like 2 days old, particularly the sports news, because the deadline is like 6:30 at night, so you're not getting. Right. But anyway, so
well, the Post got the. I don't know what time that thing happened with Biden yesterday, but I know. Afghanistan is like, what are they like 10 hours?
Yeah, they got most of the coverage, but
no, they got most of it. But they must have. They have to. This is the Metro edition that we get up here. This isn't the late edition. So they probably go to press with this thing at like 6 o'clock, right?
I would say,
or at least 8 o'clock, because you got to get
it
distributed. It probably prints somewhere in the city, and then they get it on trucks, and people buy the Post in Buffalo, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's all over the place. I mean, upset though. Baltimore, one of the airport, like next Friday, I'm going to Florida. In Baltimore, BWI is where I travel. Albany to Baltimore, Baltimore to Fort Lauderdale, and they only carry the Sun paper in there, which is a little too liberal for my liking. But they used to have a selection in their little delis of like 9 newspapers. I used to be like, wow, this airport has a tremendous amount of newspapers.
Washington Post and all.
Washington Post, the Sun papers in Baltimore, the Daily News, the New York Times, the New York Post, the USA Today, Wall Street Journal. I was like, dude.
What is it now?
Now they got one, just the Baltimore Sun.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
I think it's not because of them being liberal or ever anything to do with that. I think more people are reading their phones now.
Oh, no doubt.
I know someone that they're like, oh, I haven't bought a newspaper in 5 years. I just read it online every day. I'm like, now some things go online, like with the Freeman. They seem to keep on track of their online stuff. Like sometimes it's in online before it's in the newspaper. It's a day late. In the newspaper.
Yeah, definitely.
So they get that on there right away.
Well, the online editions, a lot of these newspapers came late to the party as far as charging people, because I remember going back 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it was, you could go online and they figured that they could make money by just having people, they wouldn't charge people online, they would just see the advertising. But now, obviously, just about every one of those you have to subscribe, but they're still really cheap.
You could get one story in. That's what I usually sometimes when I'm at the diner, I'm like, oh, I forgot my newspaper. Because I like to eat, or I like to read while I eat. So sometimes I got to pull out my phone and read the Freeman. So I can get through I can maybe sometimes squeeze 2 articles, and usually one full article, and then they'll say, okay, your free article is up, subscribe or, join or whatever, and I'm like, So, no big deal. I actually like reading the newspaper.
Yeah, I'm the same
I actually
way.
I like having it in front of me. Sometimes with the scrolling, my fingers have bacon grease on it. I don't want that on my phone. I like reading the newspaper. I don't know. My mother and father have always, I would wake up in the morning as a kid. My mother and father would be sitting at the kitchen table, eating breakfast and reading the newspaper. So I started doing that. When I moved, started being on my own when I was, whenever I left home. I always read. And then I remember when I moved to Florida, someone's like, I never seen anyone read while they eat. I'm like, I don't know how to. Sometimes I'm sitting at dinner and I eat so fast. Like when we go out to La Canard, and then I realize it's like because I don't have a newspaper in front of me. You can't bring a newspaper to a restaurant and start, unless you were sitting there by yourself or something. But that's sometimes why I eat so fast, is because I don't have a newspaper. When I have a newspaper in front of me, I eat slow, I chew my food properly.
Yeah.
So
it's a good way to go.
It is. So what do you think of Kathy Hochul? I know we're both Republican and we can only think so much of her, but I was always under the impression that she was more on the conservative side, but that doesn't appear to be the case.
I don't think so. No, it's it's early. I'll give anyone a chance. She's hadn't been in office about 4 or 5 days now. So
yeah,
I think that I really believe that it's going to be very interesting to see who lines up against her.
I like Hugh and Mario were talking last week. I would imagine it's Letitia James' job to lose. I mean, she definitely is going to be running for governor.
I would think so.
I mean, I don't see how she wouldn't be.
And that would be a very interesting primary. And I hate to say the Republican gubernatorial candidate. I actually met him. I can't remember his name. He's a congressman from Long Island, but the deck is stacked against the Republicans statewide. So whoever wins that primary is going to be the next governor. But that's like, I believe it's 16 months away.
Yeah, we got till November of 22, and then they don't go in effect. The person actually wouldn't go into office until January of 23. But out of the 9 New York governors that resigned, 6 of them were to move on. 6 of them moved on to bigger positions. 3 of them were, disgraced. Spitzer, Cuomo, and some guy before me and you were born, 1908 or something. I don't know who the heck.
Well, I hope what I really would really impress me about Governor Hochul is that if she made some strides here in Ulster County and got that Bel Air project moving.
I mean, you know what she could do to win over the hearts and minds of New Yorkers is get this effing crime problem fixed. All right, go back to the legislator, get bail back, and you won't have people. I mean, come on. aren't you tired of watching the news every night? Oh, this person got thrown on the tracks. Oh, this person got shot. Oh, and it's not just happening in New York City.
No, it's not.
And I know things have calmed down in Kingston, and that's okay.
That's good.
But now everything is, it's just, come on, man. This defunding of the police is ridiculous. It's not just happening here. It's happening in Chicago. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah, it's just, it's a...
you got, and then you ask people like Kevin Cahill, oh, what do you think about, there needs to be some changes. But, every Democrat will dance around a question. You ask a Democrat a tough question, and they're going to dance around it. That's how they do it. So I think if she wants to take the reins and really, win the hearts and minds over of all New Yorkers in the whole state, you fix the crime problem.
Yeah,
and you'll be well on your way to being the new governor or being the next governor. Now, I don't think any lieutenant governor that's taken over for the 9 before has ever won the re-election. I don't think Patterson did. He try to run?
No, he didn't run. No,
he didn't run. But he was Spitzer went out. What he was not even in there a year, right?
I think he was a little more than a year.
Was it a little more? All right, so he finished out, and that's a 4-year term. So he finished out his term. He didn't run.
The one thing that was really unfortunate about Spitzer was I was still the tourism director, and he held a press conference at the Best Western, and he got all the parties together on the Bel Air project, and he was really Dean Gitter was still alive, and he was really moving that project forward. And then, of course, all his troubles resigned, and then then we lost a lot of momentum. And the interesting thing about the Bel Air project is I don't know what's
when you say the Bel Air project, you're talking about making Pine Hill like a little village, and
no, I'm talking about it's called Crossroad Ventures. It's a scaled down project, basically at the mountain. There was at one time there was. 2 hotels proposed, 2 golf courses. It was scaled back to 1-and-1. Actually, Davis Love was there as a press conference about the golf course a number of years ago. So, to my knowledge, they have all the approvals finally. But now it's been delayed so long, and of course, you had the pandemic. The costs have gone up astronomically. So, I think it's basically. Trying to get funding for a buyer now to continue the project, and the state could help in that regard and get behind that project. It's been over 20 years since Dean Gitter, who's passed away, first proposed that project, which is sorely needed in that area.
I skied at Bel Air 5 times last year, and I didn't. They have a brand new, well, not brand new. It's probably 4 or 5 years old. The gondola is nice.
The gondola's great.
They have a brand new lodge down where the gondola is. I mean, during COVID, at all these places that we skied last year, and we probably went to 5 or 6 of them, and we went to Vermont, we went to Killington. Bel Air was the only lodge that was open. We were up in Killington. There's lodges all over the mountain. Killington's like, Colorado. There's somewhere, not one of you could go in and go to the bathroom, and that's it, one at a time. So, at least the only thing Bel Air didn't have the fireplace going. They didn't want you to stay in the lodge that long. But,
oh, right.
But, I mean, you could go in there, get warm, get something to eat. They didn't close the cafeteria. They just, you had to do your social distancing and wear a mask. But if you were sitting at your table with your people, you could take the mask off. So, but I like Bel Air last year. And actually, it's $65 to ski there during the week. And I usually go up on a Friday. I'll leave the show, drive up there. So, I got 3 hours of skiing in me.
How does that stack up when you compare it to Vermont? And when we
went to Killington. That's $125 a day. For non-holiday, non-weekend, midweek skiing.
Right.
Yeah. For me, I do 3 hours of hard skiing. I don't want to sit on a lift line for 20 minutes every time I get to the bottom of the hill. Or 30 minutes. So skiing in the middle of the week, everybody skis on Saturday and Sunday. All right. Well, those are the days I'm not going to ski. But, skiing like with Bel Air, Friday afternoon, it's great. You get up there around, I don't know, maybe 10:15. Ski until 1, have a burger, drink a beer, sit on the porch on the Adirondack chairs, maybe catch a little sun. And I usually go up with, Cameron, Rylance,
yep, sure.
Tom Murphy. There's a few of us that go skiing. And my friend Liam. And actually, he didn't go to Bel Air last year. But no, skiing's fun. And I stopped doing it for I don't know why I did, but once I started doing it again, I was like, oh, man, I forgot how much I love to ski. And why did I think I picked up snowmobiling, or maybe I just got lazy. But once I started skiing again, and I got the new and improved skis that they make now, not like the ones I used to ski on as a kid in the 80s.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God. These skis now are like they almost correct you from falling. Like I can't fall down on these skis. So it's just, it's good. It's something to do in the winter.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I was really happy that we were able to do when I was a tourism director is we worked with Greene County, and I don't know if you remember or not. It had to be 9 years ago. We ended up having a joint promotion, and we had billboards on the thruway, and it said, why drive another 3 hours to Vermont when you can get off and ski at Hunter, Wyndham, and Bel Air? And it was really a successful program. And people told us, you'll never get Hunter, Wyndham, and Bel Air together. Well, we did because it was good for them. Yeah. And we continued the program for a couple of years. But even now, without the billboards, it still makes sense if you're a skier, and I'm not a skier. But why would you want to drive all the way to Vermont, spend, another 2 to 3 hours, and spend twice as much money when you got three great ski areas? Of course, I always promoted Bel Air because it's in Ulster, but, Hunter and Wyndham are right there, great areas. So it makes sense.
Hunter gets really packed. You got to have a midweek pass to go there. And, a lot of us are working then, so it's hard to go. But, everybody from New Jersey and the city, they all come to Hunter. And Hunter's great. It's steep. It's good. It's not far. But
it's a cute little town. And
I used to work in Tannersville. I actually liked it. It's just one street.
Yeah, and they do very well up there in the summer. I mean, I've been have this golf cart, Empire Golf Cart, and been playing a lot of courses in Greene County. And, all like to patronize the ones in Ulster, but they have some great specials. I encourage people to go up and play those courses.
Tannersville is
But
really
first
nice.
and foremost, please go to Green Acres because we have Brian Bonesteel coming on soon.
We do at 7:30, right?
Yep. Good. So my son and I we're going to a concert tonight. Have not been there in probably about.
Oh, you're going tonight to a concert? So there's no way you're going to the Giant game on Sunday night. You're gonna be too.
That's a Friday night. Oh,
that's 2 days away.
Yeah.
So where's the concert tonight?
It's being held at the Orange County Speedway.
Oh, good.
Or Collective Soul, which is a
lot of concerts, Rick.
Yeah, well, that's a fun thing to do.
That's
with my
cool
son.
that you and your son have that bond. Me and my dad, we went to lots of football games together.
Yeah.
Probably a couple hundred of them.
Yeah.
He taught me about football. And actually, he didn't take me till I was 10. He's like, it's too rowdy down here. You got to be a little older because the Giant fans were just crazy in the 80s. But that's how we bonded. So it's good that you and your son can go to concerts. And you guys like the same music? Because me and my father
we do.
Like
he has some of his bands that he prefers, and
my dad listened to like Joan Baez, and I don't listen to that.
No, well, we're into rock and roll, and I remember taking him to a Rolling Stones concert. I don't know, he was a teenager. He's now 38. Actually, yeah. He had a birthday.
So you've been doing that for like 20 years then?
Yeah, and the first time he went to the Rolling Stones, he didn't have great seats. He was up in behind the stage.
You can still hear him though.
But now, he says, "Wow, they're really good."
So you've taken them. How many Stones concerts do you think you've taken your son to?
We're like probably 12, 13, 14, something like that in the last.
Not that it's any of my business. Are tickets to the one you're going to see in Pittsburgh for the Stones? How much is a ticket for?
They're not that bad. I mean, they're a couple $100.
Are they that much?
Yeah. Well,
it's a 3-hour show, right? They do an intermission.
What's that?
They do an intermission. They play for an hour and a half, take a break, come back on, play for another hour and a half.
Oh no, they just go 2 hours. That's it.
They go 2 hours and you're okay.
Yeah,
they usually $100 an hour to see the Stones.
That's there's only one Rolling Stones.
Right.
So I'm not.
And like you said, they're probably not coming back to America after this.
I don't think they will. I think this is the last. They got 12 shows. I think. Knock on wood with a pandemic, but after that, they'll be in Europe next year, but, how long can they go on? I mean,
I know. I mean, Mick Jagger seems like he can go another freaking 10 years. He's just got so much energy in him. He's 78, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people think that Charlie Watts is the first original Stone to die, but he really isn't. Brian Jones was the original guitarist, but he died. He drowned in 1969. But
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that guy's name until just now.
Yeah, the core of the Stones is Mick, Keith, Ron Wood and Charlie. So actually, of that group, which has been together the last 50 years, Charlie is the last person, or the first person to die, which is unfortunate. What a great drummer, what a great gentleman, and so God rest his soul. But 80 years old, still he was knocking it out.
I make it to 80. All right, let's go to. We're at the 7:30. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back with Brian Bonesteel.
Cool.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Swimming pools are great for family fun, and Central Hudson wants you to play it safe. Never operate an electric appliance next to or in the pool. Be sure pool motors and filters are grounded. Have them installed by a professional and serviced by a licensed professional electrician. Be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a pool, especially if using long-handled cleaning tools. And if a storm is nearby, get out of the water. Your safety matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org, produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
All right, I think we have Brian Bonesteel on the line from Green Acres Golf Course. Can you hear me, Brian?
I can hear you, Rick. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, anytime. Love to talk some golf. So let me ask you this. I don't think this is the second time you've been on. Give me your schedule for a typical day over at Green Acres, getting the golf course ready and what you do.
Well, I mean, everybody here starts at 5 a.m., and basically we don't have irrigation on the fairways, so me and my assistant superintendent, Eddie, pull a hose between two gators, and that knocks the dew off of the fairways, and that provides a little bit of water for the fairways, which we've got a great water table here, so they've always stayed green. And then we go out and we mow greens and whatever else you need to do. And again, you can come in with a plan and think you're doing something, and then you come in and the grass has got a problem, and the next thing you're out spraying some fungicides or insecticides. So every day, even though you have a schedule, could change at a drop of a hat.
Right. Well, 5 o'clock. So I'm thinking you're probably not staying up to watch any of the late night shows, right? What time are you going to bed?
That's correct. I'm a 7:30 to 8:30 guy because I get up at 3:30 to get here by 5. So,
wow.
But I love it. I can tell you this. I was out there this morning and I told you last time I was on the radio, I had the best office in the world.
Yep.
And it's a real treat to be able to call this my job, that's for sure.
Well, that's good. I've been talking to the station manager, Lawrence Maxwell. You got to get out and play golf. He finally told me this morning that he went over and played your course, and he was totally amazed by the transformation that you made and loved playing there. So you have one additional convert because of all the great work that you're doing over there.
Well, I appreciate that, and again, every summer has its challenges, and as you've played here. July was a little bit of a tough spell for myself and everybody included in the golf business, and we actually had a couple greens that were pretty affected badly by disease, but they're coming back, and they're making progress every day. There was a third green that had a little bit of damage that you wouldn't even know that was a problem. And I really do appreciate the loyalty of the customers. For continuing to support Green Acres, even though when conditions aren't perfect. But we strive to be perfect every day, and we'll get back there. I promise you that.
What do you think? I know last year I think you told me that you were up maybe 30%. How about this year? How's business been this year?
Well, it's interesting because, I never do the numbers to the end of the year because I always think that's bad luck. All of a sudden you start thinking you got something you don't have. So, and the weather can turn and everything changes with that.
Yep.
We had a small price increase, but just my feel of it, numbers-wise, we're very similar to last year. Now, that can mean we're down a little bit because we had a little bit of a price increase. The difference really this year is last year with COVID, the gates were, they'd be 15 deep as soon as I opened the gate at 7 o'clock.
Wow.
They'd roll in very early, and so the golf course would look really, really packed for 4 hours. This year, I think we have similar numbers of rounds, but it's nice and spread out. Not everybody's here at 7 o'clock. It's
right.
A nice, steady day, and it works a lot better for us. It was very, very challenging last year when all them people showed up, and, right now, it's only sunrise. Basically, you can see at 6:15. I mean, we're driving around at 5 o'clock with lights on, but you can't do any mowing, without, lights, and our mowers don't have lights. So we only have about 45 minutes to get ahead of the crowd right now. So we definitely like a more spread out group of people.
Well, I think you've done a wonderful job keeping the golf course in tip-top shape the whole season. Everybody's going to have their problems with the weather. I'll just give you a little anecdote. I don't think people realize how the rain and the heat can affect not only the golf business, but I went to a drive-in last night to see a short film festival. It's called Asbury Shorts, and it was up in Greene County, and I know talking to some of the folks up there that business was down in the drive-in because of rain. Now, I guess people they're not going to go to drive-in if they got to have their windshield wipers on. So, I don't know if you keep track of rain days this year. Has it been rainier or hotter than last year, or has it been pretty much the same?
Well, last year was a very, very dry year. So, you kind of expected that Mother Nature, evens herself out. So we were expecting, a little bit more precipitation. And as far as the driving goes, so we're a little bit opposite. What happened here was we got a lot of rain, but we got a lot of rain between late day and early morning. So, that affected them, unfortunately. It didn't affect our day as much. Maybe we got a little bit of a later start, but we were predominantly able to get most of the days in. We didn't have that many rain days. As a matter of fact, this past Monday, I think it was Monday we're off, or the week before, I'm not sure. They all blend together. But, we average probably maybe 5 to 7 days where you might get rained out. But most of the time you get a part of a day in. So that's good.
Good. Well, let's talk about some of the changes that you've made to the golf course in the last couple years. What is the biggest change, and what are you trying to do to the golf course by and large?
Well, I mean, ultimately, we want to be a signature golf course. I want to be a golf course that people are a destination that they hear about, not just the locals, and I don't want to diminish my local clientele by any measure, but, obviously golf is tough and it's competitive. And we need people, hearing about Green Acres, which, I can't say thank you enough for getting me on the radio and getting that word out there. So, it's just going to become more of a golf course. We'll add sand traps, and a lot of the work that I wanted to get done this year, I'd planned on in July and August. That's when I was going to put some fairway traps in. But the weather just didn't let us do that. Typically, it would be dry. You'd be doing less stuff on the golf course. You don't mow every day when it's dry out. You mow every other day, but that just didn't happen. Like I said, you can have a plan in this business, and it'll blow up in a minute, just based on what the weather does to you. So, but yeah, we're going to continue to move forward. I'm excited. To bring it to the customers, I can't wait to get started here in the next week or two and start some of the work that I wanted to get done over the summer.
Sure. This is Rick Remsnyder with Brian Bonesteel, the owner of Green Acres Golf Course, and I encourage everybody to get out there and play Green Acres. For people that don't know, it's on Harwood Street. You just look for go down Albany Avenue and see the McDonald's there, and depending which direction you're coming, you take the right or the left at McDonald's and go down to the end of the street, and you'll see Green Acres. It's interesting because, as you know, I like to go out and play a lot of different golf courses, and I've been to some other courses. I don't want to mention the course because I know the difficulties that the golf course superintendents have. A friend of mine, as you well know, Dan Reinhardt, who's helping you there a little bit, we went to a golf course, and I believe, and being retired is sort of like being the owner of a golf course. One day runs into another, but I think it was Wednesday, and this course, the fairways, because it was so wet, they hadn't been able to mow it for like about 3 days. So it was if you didn't hit it in a fairway, it was a bit of a challenge. So I'm sure you faced that situation this summer. How do you deal with trying to keep the fairways and your rough a proper length when you're getting a lot of rain?
Yeah, I mean, that's an impossible battle for sure. So you need a little bit of understanding from the customer.
Yep.
And, sometimes, in a situation like that, you want to mow them, but and you want to mow them for the customer, but you'll do more damage mowing him than you'll do any good. So sometimes you just got to eat it, and you just apologize as an owner and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, the condition's not as great. We were actually pretty fortunate through all that rain. Unfortunately, the most important part of the golf course, the greens, were the most highly affected. Our fairways we maintain on a regular basis. Our rough really never got away from us. The problem we had here is, we typically benefit from a great soil that retains water, still drains, and has a high water table. But 14 inches of rain in 18 days basically filled that cup. The water had nowhere to go. The water table in the ground was right to the top, and the greens were the ones, and we had some fairway issues too. 1, 2, and 6, all the lower fairways. We had some disease hit them. They're still in good shape, but I'm not looking for good. I'm looking for great, and I'm looking for perfect every day. So I'm always going to be upset by something that's not as perfect as I'd like it. But we're still pretty good.
That's good. And I'll attest to the condition of the golf course, and I've played a lot of golf this summer, and every course will have a problem here and there, but you're very consistent to conditions. The greens are really usually in tremendous shape, and I know people enjoy it because I do. If anybody wants to call in, more than happy to take your questions. 331-9255 is the call-in number, Kingston Community Radio. One thing I talked to you about the last time earlier in the season, I love what you did on your par 3 7th hole. What went into that decision? And for people who haven't been there, it's about 190 yards, depending on what tee you play. It's no longer just a straight shot up to the hill. There's not water there. And I told people this kind of reminds me a little bit of number 12 at Augusta when you put the pin, tuck it in the right hand corner. What was the process, the thought process, and how long did it take you to change that hole and change the green and everything?
Well, that was probably all right. So as far as the thought process went, so the two ponds that we started with on between number 2 and 3, and then between number 6 and 7, really were no-brainers. There were areas that under heavy rain, and certainly in July, we would have had a major issue with water puddling in the valley and actually coming across into the fairway on both of them holes, which would have created aesthetically it would have looked bad because it would have been spread out and not contained. So that was an easy decision. I go, okay, I need two ponds here. I need them to be able to collect, when we get substantial rain, and I know they're going to fill up because we have a great ground table. So that's the first decision in the pond making. To build the green below the hill on number 7 really was because I knew I wanted to lengthen number 8 out, and in order to do that, I couldn't use the green, old number 7 green, which is on top of the hill, because I wanted to put a tee box back behind that. So, that was another pretty easy decision. As far as, we started with the green, seeding it, basically, getting it prepared for, to become a green. And that took about, the better part of a year while I was digging the pond out. And, typically with me, the pond will start out small, and then I'll just get going, and I say, I kind of like it a little bigger. I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. So they all kind of start as an idea, and then they expand. So really, really fun project. Like I said, I'm excited to bring more stuff, and that was a really fun development for the course. And it's really made a nice impact on the course in the playability and the difficulty of them two holes.
No, it certainly did, and I don't know if you're ever going to, at the end of the season, you're going to get somebody to get down and snorkel and there's got to be I can't imagine how many golf balls are in that pond now.
No, listen, the first time I ever tried to tee off over that pond, I probably put 10 in myself without a question. I was like, you got to be. I almost went to the driving range and grabbed the bucket. It was so frustrating. You just have that, that knack where you just grab it a little bit harder, and the back tee, it's either the right club or the wrong club. The wrong club's going to put you on top of the hill or in the water. The right club's going to put you on the green. So that's a really good hole.
Here's my tip for that hole. I thought that for probably the first 7-8 times I played it, I said, what? I'm going to I'm going to aim left here, and if I'm up on the bank there, left of the green, that's okay. But you know what? If you do that, it's no sure deal there, because now you got a chip from the rough sloping down. You could actually hit it in the water again. So what I've do now is just hit the left side of the green and look for a nice little cut, and just make sure I hit it solid. If I hit it long, fine. But playing it to the left is no bargain either.
No, exactly. Because again, if you pull it. We have high grass, not too far off of where the rough is cut. You got trouble there. If you go too high, you're chipping across and down. It's probably not going to make par. You're playing for bogey.
Yep.
And really, your approach is exactly the way you, regardless of where that pin is, left corner to green. Especially if you fade it a little bit and hit it well. And for some reason, even if you're at left corner and you don't get into it too well, but you don't cut it, you're still going to be okay.
Yes, I agree. And you did make not only that hole, you alluded to number 8. You made a great improvement on that hole. How many yards did you lengthen that from the back tees?
So now that's 400 yards. I can honestly tell you I don't remember what the old yardage was, but that's 400-yard par 4, which that's going to change. That eventually that's going to become a par 5. That green will be built out into 8 fairways, so it's going to become actually a little bit of a shorter par 5. But as you know, that throat chokes down where that corner comes out. And I got some good plans for even making that more difficult, because it's going to become a short par 5, but I'm going to give you some spots that you're going to have to think about when you're going to that green. So that was the whole idea behind that. But right now it is a monster par 4 with a green that slopes away from you. Honestly, it's not really that fair. It's very tough to hold that green. So you got to play it short. And let it roll on. So, I look forward to changing that into a short par 5 with a green that can receive it. But right now, definitely a difficult hole on the golf course. Right, 7 or 8, I mean, you can toss it up. They're the two difficult holes right here.
No question. I'll stack that up as two of the better back-to-back holes in Ulster County. And I know Brian Smith played with him a month or so ago, he came out. He's been out to Green Acres several times, and the former three-time champion at Hurdigan, so we know he can play. I think he hit and he was from the back tees, and he hit a driver, and I think it was a 5 or a 6 iron. He said, "This is a really good hole." I said, "Yeah, no kidding. That's why I'm playing the senior tees on this hole."
Yeah, well, I don't blame you there. That's that you have to be, in order to certainly to birdie it. A birdie there is like an eagle, for crying out loud. So, and yeah, Brian's been out here. He's a great player, and it's always fun to watch, him actually approach the golf course. It's nice to see how he actually goes about playing the golf course, and I just try to learn from it.
Yeah, he's certainly knows what he's doing. And another thing I know, Brian, being out there and playing that, you're getting a good amount of players that it's like from other courses. Maybe they take a day off from Wilwick or, Apple Greens or whatever. I've noticed that you've had in addition to the regular players that you've had there for years, that you seem to be getting a little higher caliber player. That's got to make you happy, because they figure that the course is no longer, a piece of cake, and they're out there to have some fun and play some challenging holes.
Absolutely. That's my whole drive behind turning this golf course a little bit harder, but also realizing that you have a clientele that's I can't take away the front of the green for the normal average person, but that doesn't mean I can't put some well placed traps to challenge the better player as well. So that's the things that we're focused on. That's the fill in addition to the normal client base that we have. That we are gaining, and that's exactly what I wanted. And, for that guy that, like you said, he wants to take a day off, just play something different, or maybe he just doesn't have the time to play a long round, but still wants to work on his game on a place that's going to challenge him, and he feels, can test his game a little bit. So, I'm real happy to see that. That's exactly what I was striving for, and I'll continue to strive for, and I'll give him even more of a reason to be here.
Of course, if people don't know, Brian also owns and operates Ascot Park Driving Range, which is right next to Green Acres. The thing I like about Ascot is that you have a practice area with a bunker and chipping and a putting green, in addition to the usual tees where you can hit every other club. But that's something you don't see at a lot of drive-ins. Driving ranges. I got drive-ins on my
mind. Drive-ins on your mind, right?
Yeah, from last night. But you get a lot of people over there working on their short game, and in addition to just going up there and whacking a driver.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I was willing to take a chance and come over here, because I knew, even though that we weren't doing the numbers over here, that you wanted to, I knew there was still plenty of people playing golf, even when golf was down, just based on my clientele that was over at Ascot. So I knew that the game was still alive, but you're going to have to compete for your customer. So I was ready for that. And the driving range I built, because I played a lot of golf when I was younger, nothing competitive or anything, but enjoyed the game, loved the game, loved what the game taught you about life and everything with it. And so, I built something that I wanted to see as a player. So that was easy, you know what I mean? And I wanted to be able to putt. I wanted to be able to chip. I didn't think that you needed to belong to a private club to enjoy them items, and I thought I could provide them and still, be able to, manage the business in a manner that I would be profitable, and that worked out for me. So that same idea is come over here to Green Acres. I want to give you something that I want to see as a player, and that you can afford to play, and that's the goal.
One thing I'm really happy that I noticed when I was there, my son is kind of a late bloomer, taking up golf at the age of in his late 30s. So I went over there over to Ascot Park the other day, and I noticed Chris Ferraro was giving a lesson. And I believe you also have, if people want to look this up or go over to Ascot Park, you may Daryl Jack, who's a former pro at Wiltwick and Woodstock Golf Club. He's now general manager of Hotel Dillon, and I believe you also have Harvey Bostic Jr. teaching there. So you've actually attracted, and all you have to do is their contact information is at Ascot Park. You really attracted a lot of teaching pros there. That's really good for people trying to pick up the game or improve their game.
Absolutely. The driving range does not have an exclusive to a pro. Everybody reacts differently to each different, teaching individual, each instructor. So, when people come to me that are pros and they say, hey, can I give lessons out of there? Even Andrew DeForest, he say, hey, can I listen, this place is here for you to use. If you do your job, you're going to teach that person how to play golf. They're going to buy a bucket from me. All I need is the bucket money. There's no exclusiveness. And my goal would be, everybody in the area that was a pro, go over there, give your lessons there, enjoy the facility. We're trying to give you the best that we can give you. And we feel that, you can teach pretty much every facet of the game right there at Ascot. So, we welcome all pros.
Well, you got a great collection there, not to say one's better than the other, but I know that Daryl Jack was brought up in the Jim McLean school, and he taught at Chelsea Piers, and he's a top-notch teaching professional, and I'm sure, Chris Ferraro and Andrew DeForest and Harvey Bostic Jr., I know those guys. They all know the game, so that's a great thing to have there. We have Brian Bonesteel here. We have a few more minutes. Enjoy talking to you, Brian. You mentioned about future plans. Oh, by the way, if people are interested in getting information about Green Acres, what's the best way to find out that information instead of just driving down to the golf course?
Well, you can always drive down.
You can do that.
That's the easiest. The next thing is all our information. We have a variety of information that's on Facebook, and you can also email me through Facebook. My email is there. So if you have any questions, the telephone that actually when you call the number is actually in our equipment shed, which will change. We finally put electric to the building. We're going to have cable at the shack, and we're going to have a phone at the shack, which is 50-plus years without them services. So as that comes available, and we're able to do that, they still haven't hooked up the cable all the way, so we can't get phone. But once that becomes available, then that number will be better for you. Other than that, right now it rings at an answer machine in the shop, and we're typically pretty busy, and usually the answer machine fills up, and I can't even get a chance to listen to them. So again, the best bet maybe at this point in time is Facebook. You'll find my email on that Facebook page if you need to ask me a question. And but it's pretty basic. We're open at 7 daily. Riding carts are available. Rental clubs are available. You don't need a tee time. One will be given to you when you get here. And the other thing, I wanted to talk about too, because I'm not sure if I'll be on before then, but possibly. Veterans Day. We have ever since I took this course over and managed and owned this course, which I actually closed on the course this year, so it's a great year for me. I became the owner. And Veterans Day, we give free golf away to veterans. Whether you want to ride, whether you want to walk, it's on us. Come out and enjoy it. We appreciate everything you've done for us.
Well, that's nice. So I encourage all the vets to get out there and take advantage of that. You also have, I know this year you put in picnic tables. I know that your leagues were pretty busy, so it seems that did you pick up how many leagues do you have? And for people looking in the future that may want to play next year, what are some of the leagues you have, and what nights are they?
Well, we had a Monday night men's league. We have a Tuesday night mixed league. We have a Wednesday night men's league. We have a Thursday morning women's league. And at this point, that's about it. Yeah, and you can just, again, through Facebook, reach out to me on email or on Facebook, ask me the questions. I'll put you in contact with each person that runs the leagues. And yeah, come out and enjoy it. It's like everything else, right? If you belong to a league, you end up showing up, you end up playing, you make new friendships, and it's usually a pretty good experience. So.
Right. Well, you do have a lot of great leagues, and I know a lot of people that have played in those, and they really enjoy them. Well, half hour's up. Brian, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I know I'll see you a few more times before the end of the year, obviously. I'll be out there, but keep up the great work, and I'm glad things are going at Green Acres, and I encourage people to go out. You know, it's very affordable rates. You're not going to spend a lot of time on the golf course. It's not like 4.5 hours to play 18 holes generally, or 5 hours, so it moves along pretty quickly. So I hope you get a lot of great weather through the end of the year, my friend.
Okay, Rick, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care. That was Brian Bonesteel, and does a tremendous job, Lawrence. And we'll go to a break, and we should have people from the Hudson Valley Garlic Festival coming in.
Sounds good.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Hi, this is Jim Quigley, supervisor of the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
Rondout Savings Bank has a long history of serving local communities and maintaining a strong tradition of customer service excellence while providing each customer with the personal attention they deserve. Rondout Savings' approach to community banking puts you and the growth of your business in the front of everything they do. They're a different kind of bank and would like to tell you why, so please reach out to one of their expert business bankers for an appointment and let them show you what they can do for you. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park. Also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
All right, we're back at little after 8. We have some great guests from the Hudson Valley Garlic Festival, but first, I have some birthdays here I have to take care of. So, Friday, August 27th, we please wish a happy 85th birthday to Gordon Craw from your friends and family, wife Barbara, children Cheryl and Tom, Craig, grandkids Joel, Megan, and Philip, and great-grandkids Landon, Alana, and Lucas. Well, how about that? So we only have one birthday for today. So, Gordon, happy 85th, and you're going to be the birthday winner of the famous cow pie, courtesy of Boyce Dairy Milk House and Kingston Community Radio. So that's today. Tomorrow, happy birthday to Dot Elliott from your friends at the Wellness and Healthy Lifestyle Club. And we also have a birthday for Barbara Kint from your friends at the Hurley Purlers. I love the Hurley Purlers. I don't know what the Hurley Purlers. Hey, Lawrence, what are the Hurley Purlers? I had no idea.
I would imagine they purl.
Maybe a knitting group?
Well,
Knit and purl.
I'll go for that. And we also have another one. Lori Biamonte from your friends at the Hurley Purlers. It must be a big group. And the winner, birthday winner for the famous cow pie is Dot Elliott. So congratulations, Dot. And then for Sunday, August 29th, we have a bunch of them here. Jack Becker from your friends at People's Place. We hope you enjoy your special day. Also, 85th birthday, Joe Schrowang. I happen to know Joe Schrowang. From your friends and family, wife Muffy, and the children and grandchildren. And the winner, birthday winner for Sunday, is Jack Becker, so he's going to also get the famous cow pie, courtesy of Boyce Dairy Milk House and Kingston Community Radio. Okay, I'm very happy to have an old friend, Dr. Richard Kapler, and I have not met Pat Pretorious, have I?
Yes, briefly.
Briefly, okay.
Briefly with Charlie Daly.
Oh, okay, that's right. Now I remember. How's Mr. Daly doing?
I think he's doing better.
Yes.
Yeah,
he had some issues, some health issues.
Yes.
Dr. Kapler is the chairman of the Hudson Valley Garlic Festival. It's put on by the Saugerties Kiwanis Club. And Pat Pretorious is the publicity chairman and the incoming president of the Saugerties Kiwanis Club. Isn't that nice?
We'll see.
Wait a minute. We'll see.
She's going to be president when we have our festival this year.
Congratulations.
August 1st.
Right. October 1st.
October 1st.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
I'm so excited.
Now, when I was a tourism director, I used to speak at the Kiwanis Ice Rink. And didn't you guys used to have your meetings, or do you still have meetings there?
We still do, yes.
I remember going to one and speaking to a great group, and the person told me, is it like 7:30 that you have the...
7:30 in the morning.
So, I mean, I have this show here from 7 to 9, so... but we had a lot of stuff to put together for this presentation, and then I said, can we get in there at 6:30? I go, sure. So, but anyway, we took care of that. So on to the Garlic Festival, October 2nd and 3rd this year, correct?
Correct.
Saturday and Sunday. So you have to be excited, Doc, about since it's you couldn't do it because of the pandemic last year. So how are preparations going so far this year?
Well, they're going well. You know, we're hoping to have a similar festival, but some of the things we just can't have this year. You know, we're getting rid of some of the tents that we had, so we don't have people congregating together inside.
Sure.
We're trying to spread the booths out a little bit more so that there's a little more space for people to walk around. But otherwise, you know, it's kind of business as usual for us.
I know that you go back. I believe the Garlic Festival, correct me if I'm wrong, started on 1992. Does that sound about right?
That was the year that the Kiwanis took it over from Pat Repper.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our first year.
You were involved then, right?
I've been involved every year since then.
I know as the tourism director of Ancient History, we used to have a booth there, and there were, with good weekend weather, there were times when you could get maybe 45,000 people there at Cantine Field Complex, in case people don't know where the Garlic Festival is. With these, some of your restrictions, are you expecting smaller, are you going to limit the crowds, or are you just going to have the same amount of people and just spread them out without having permanent tents and stuff like that?
Well, you know, the pandemic's like a unknown. I have no idea. You know, we currently are following the CDC guidelines,
right?
You know, which says that if you're in a crowded area, you should wear a mask.
Right.
But there's no restrictions on the number of people that we can have or can't have. So there is no restriction in that regard. My feeling is that any restriction, you say, okay, we're full, and now you have 1,000 people waiting in line. Is that socially distancing? Is that any help to anybody? So, I think what will happen is that you'll see more people that'll come in. They'll go to the booths that they like to go to every year. They'll get their things, maybe grab a bite to eat, and then maybe leave. So there might be more turnover just because of that. But there is no restriction on the number of people that we're going to allow in at this time.
Good. Before we get too far, and I forget on the show, best way for people to get information on the Garlic Festival, and I'm sure they can buy tickets in advance, right, Pat?
Yes. If you go to our website, hvgf.org, we do have tickets for sale currently. There is a limited number of tickets we can sell online, so we encourage people to get them as soon as possible. And then we will be selling tickets at all 4 locations of Adams Fairacre Farms, at Smith Hardware in Saugerties, Sawyer Savings Bank in Saugerties, and M&T Bank in Saugerties.
Oh, great.
So there's a variety of venues people can pick these tickets up. We're going to try and get them out there as soon as possible.
And how much are they?
$7 ahead of time and $5 for seniors ahead of time. At the door, the ticket is $10. And what's the age limit?
12 and under.
12 and under can come in for free. We're going to try to do something different for the children this year because we're not going to have a booth. We used to have pumpkin painting and face painting. And so we're working on some different ideas to keep the kids involved while their parents want to buy garlic. So,
well, for what you get at the Garlic Festival, that's a very reasonable fee. So I encourage people to go. And what is the, without being too specific and favoring different booths, but you say people buy garlic. What are some of the more popular booths that they go to? And I see people grabbing stalks of garlic, and I'm not a person that cooks, so I'm going to get food, right? But talk about some of the busier areas and what people really enjoy when they go to the Garlic Festival.
Okay, well, the farmers grow different types of garlic. They're all primarily the hardneck varieties, but there's German red, German white, music, the list goes on and on. So depending on what type of garlic and how hot you want your garlic to be, the people are going to go around and try to find the garlic booths that have those. As far as the other booths go, the pickle booths are very popular. Trying the garlic ice cream is very popular. We are going to have, I believe the Ulster Kiwanis Club is going to come back and do their garlic shots.
Oh, good.
And, that was always popular, big challenge for people to take a shot of hot garlic. But
can't say I've tried that. I was always working when I was there,
Yeah. But, there's just a wide variety of stuff. We have the cheese booths, and we have the olive oils, and beef jerky, and the list goes on and on and on. But they all use garlic in a different way, and it's nice. People just go around and they just try it.
Sure.
I will tell you a little story. We have a local vendor that does granola. And when she first started to be in the festival, she said to me, "Well, what am I going to do with garlic and granola?" So I said, "I really don't know, but we got to get that mixed in." And she does it just for the Garlic Festival, but she says she gets asked about it all year long. It's a very popular item for her. And if you taste it, it has a little sweetness, it has a little garlic in it, and it's very good.
Good. Well, certainly something to try while you're there. You got to try different types of food, right, Pat?
Absolutely.
People are buying product, but I can't. The one thing that I never tried it myself, but it sort of looked like this big thing that Fred Flintstone would carry around with a big pork chopper. What is that?
That's the turkey legs.
Turkey legs. Those things are popular.
Right.
That Stone Pony does that from Saugerties.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, the food is very affordable there. You can buy a lot and for not that a lot of money. Before I forget, what are the hours on Saturday and Sunday? They're a little different, right?
Yeah, the hours on Saturday are from 10 to 6, and on Sunday they're from 10 to 5. And I would encourage people to come early. If you don't want to be mixing with a large group of people, if you want to be a little careful, 10 o'clock is the time to come to the Garlic Festival because you can easily walk. All the booths are open. Walk around, buy your stuff, wait till 11 to have lunch, and you're done. So I like wandering around the festival at 10.
Well, that's a good tip. And it does get a little, as the day goes on, more people show up. But if you get there bright and early, parking, a lot of parking.
Yep.
People come in. You have the huge lots. You also have the lots at Saugerties High School. So you have plenty of parking.
This year, there's only going to be 2 entrances, right?
No.
Oh, 3? I'm sorry. I thought
We have the one on Market Street, and then the one across from the high school on Washington Avenue, and then the one at the end of the north end of the festival by the ice rink. By the ice arena.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
The one thing I did want to mention, though, Rick, because we get a lot of questions on it, is as far as handicap parking and accessibility. We use what's called, the town calls it their Lot A, which is the lot right adjacent to the Small World, I call it Small World, but it's the ice arena entrance there. And actually during the day, if someone comes and they have a person that maybe isn't a walker or something, the parking attendants will allow them to pull up right next to the entrance and then go park their car. So it's very accommodating to the handicapped individual. As far as getting around at the festival, probably 70% of our booths are on macadam, so it's an easy walk. We have the areas that are on grass, but you can see the majority of things, and you can try everything that's there. Because we have multiple booths, without having to go off macadam if you need that type of ground to travel on. So I want people to be assured that it is handicap accessible.
Yeah, very important. I have Dr. Richard Kapler and Pat Pretorious, the Hudson Valley Garlic Festival here. If you want to call in, 331-9255. Either Doc or Pat, the benefits for the Kingston, Saugerties Kiwanis Club. Obviously, it's got to be one of your, if not main fundraiser for the year, right?
It's our fundraiser.
So what programs does this enable you to do? And it's got to be for the good of the community.
Well, I'm going to do like I do at the end of the festival, and I'm going to turn the money over to the president. So I'm going to turn this question over to our president.
You didn't prepare me for this.
He probably also didn't tell you he's leaving at 8:30, which is fine, because I told him.
He did tell me that.
We're going to keep you around for another 10 minutes or so after Dr. Kapler leaves, if you can.
Sure.
Talk a little bit more about the history. But go ahead.
Over the years, the Saugerties Kiwanis Club has donated more than $2 million to the community through the Hudson Valley Garlic Festival. It's a big endeavor. We're a small group, but we get a lot of volunteers to come and help us for this day. The number of groups that we help are enormous. The Boys and Girls Club of Saugerties and Kingston, we donate to them a goodly amount every year. We continue to do that this year, even though we did not have income from our festival last year. So we have been able to continue giving to the community. We have a President's Challenge Scholarship that we do through Ulster County Community College. We have
Backpack program.
Oh, the backpack program, which is very important. The school is organized that children who are unable to have access to meals over the weekend, they get a backpack full of food, drink, other things.
And that was started by our Key Club that we sponsor at the high school.
Great.
Yeah, it's a great program. Great program.
We have someone who called in. Caller, go right ahead.
I have a question for you. I
Sure.
know in the past you've had bus service to the Garlic Festival. Will that be happening again this year?
Currently, our plans are to have the same bus services that we've had in the past. You're referring to the one that goes around the village?
Yes, because I live in senior housing, and they used to have a parking right over by Cahill School.
And our plans right now are to have that. We do that. It was with the City of Kingston buses. Now it's the UCAT buses that we're going to be using. But yes, we have made contact with them, and they have committed to that at this time.
Okay, thanks very much for the information, and I really enjoy. I go both days to the Garlic Festival.
Well, thank you.
Well, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. So that's good information to have. One thing that I always loved about the Garlic Festival when I was a tourism director was having a booth there and meeting everybody and passing out our materials at the Garlic Festival. And I was so impressed with the number of people that came from out of the area. Now, I don't know if you we used to do an unscientific poll. We would ask people, if you're out of the area, can you give us your address? And some people, I'm saying, we're just doing a poll here. I'm not going to send you an email, okay? I'm not. But what do you think the percentage of roughly the people that come from outside of Ulster County that go to the Garlic Festival? Any idea?
We've tried to do the same thing.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Part of our mission statement is to showcase the Saugerties in the Ulster County area. I think we've done a good job of bringing people into the area that say, hey, this is a nice place to come back to, and I think that's
Sure.
one of the benefits of the festival. As far as numbers go, every year people comment. Greg Chorvis in the parking, he just comments on the number of people from Connecticut and out of town that come in. But as far as a number, I don't know. I would say it's probably at least 40%, though. There's a lot of people from outside the area that come in, and that's. I attribute that to our publicity people. They go out and they advertise it. I was talking to my sister who's in Boston, who knows a investment person in the city who found out that her brother is the chairman, and he had to know when the festival was because he had to go. He now comes up to Saugerties a couple times a year. And he's in the process of purchasing that drive-in up in Coxsackie.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
These are the things that happen when people come into an area like Ulster County.
No question. And I've said for years that, I can't tell you how many people that come from out of the area, like Orange, Sullivan, Dutchess. I wish our county had a Garlic Festival like this, or we're very fortunate. It's great to have you people here promoting the Garlic Festival, but I feel the same way about the Ulster County Fair, the Woodstock New Paltz Crafts Fair, events like that are so important and significant to this county because, people will come here from out Connecticut or wherever, and they may end up staying here, buying a house, second home, original home, first home, relocate a business, all because they actually came up for one day just to see the Garlic Festival, for instance.
Yep.
So it's a huge economic boon for the area. And Cantine Field, it's a great facility. Talk about how that fits for the Garlic Festival.
Well, the thing that I like about it is that it's not a purpose-built thing. There's grassy areas. People can go up there. They can walk around and see all the booths. And if they want a break, they can sit down in the grass somewhere. We have picnic tables spread out. So people can actually kind of get away from it and still be inside of it.
And music. don't forget the music.
We have the music as kind of a background, but I think that many of the festivals here are a little different than people might be used to, in the sense that we don't really play to what's current as far as music goes. We have more foot stomping type music going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that kind of gets in your head and you hear it, but you don't necessarily have to stop and watch it. But I think the field is a nice combination of that macadam and grassy areas, and so that's what makes it a nice fit, and people can just wander around and do what they need, what they want.
Well, I remember one year that I saw this 15-year-old kid performing and with a guitar, and he had the guitar over his head, and I said, who the heck is this kid? And he was just a tremendous musician. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think I do. Ian Flanagan. Yep. We're so happy for his success. Did he
perform at the Garlic Festival?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. How many years did he perform?
Well, the last year he performed was the last year we had it.
Right,
years ago.
right. 2019 he was there.
Well, he's big now, but...
Yep, well...
I was also referring to Miles Mancuso. I think that he was at the Garlic Festival. He's a guitarist. And I saw he performed at Emerson Resort and Spa, had a music series on the bank there, and Miles was there, and I said, didn't I see you when you were a kid at the Garlic Festival? Oh, yeah, because he's from Ulster County.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So
we've had a number of instances like that where people, famous people just step up on the stage because they know the group that's playing, and they'll just start playing the harmonica with them or whatever, and you walk around, and some of the vendors who are familiar will say, hey, you know what that is?
Well, that's good. Well, hey, Ulster County is home to a lot of great musicians and music, so you never know who's going to show up at the Garlic Festival.
And we welcome them all.
Yeah, really. Come on up. You look like you had something you were going to say, or no? No? Okay, well, I'll keep...
escaped my mind.
Okay, well, that's okay. That's all right, Pat. I'll keep going. Well, I know a couple, 3-4 years ago, we were able to get the I Love New York to bring a booth there, and they had kind of an interactive thing. Are they coming back this year or no?
I've had contact with Patrick.
Okay.
And they're not sure of what they're doing yet.
Oh, okay.
I've left an open invitation to him. He said, well, how late can I let you know? And I said, well, I'd like to know the week before. So I'm still waiting to hear back from him. But they are looking into it. I'm sure with this pandemic, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're probably not trying, for people to know, there's I Love New York had a kind of a large display that they would bring into certain events throughout the state, and we were able to add, through Dr. Kapler's helping us, we were able to get them to come to the Garlic Festival, and it was really cool. A lot of people go through the booth, but hopefully get them back this year, if not this year, next year. So anything that we should add going as far as anything new this year? I know you got the want to wear the masks and keep a social distancing and all that, but is there any other precautions, or are people just
smart? Be smart, common sense.
That's about it.
We're like everybody else. We listen to what the state health department says, the county health department says, the CDC says, and we try to follow the guidelines. And it's all we can do. Stay healthy, stay smart.
And you mentioned this, and one thing I liked about the Garlic Festival, among a number of things, is that there's plenty of like grassy areas where people can rest. You got the pavilion there where people can go, and picnic tables and have lunch or whatever, and a lot of porta potties, which I was very happy to see. That's very important. I tell you, there are some events you go to. And Lawrence knows I go to a lot of concerts, and sometimes it's hard to find bathrooms, but you take care of things.
And the hand washing stations.
Very
which I
important.
think are
Yep,
very
I love those
important as
things.
well, yeah.
That's probably a good idea because when you're eating so much, you want
Right,
to wash your hands.
exactly, you know.
Actually, this year we will have more hand washing stations.
Good.
Along with the porta potties. But, we try to, the porta potties, the thing is you don't want them in the middle of everything because they sometimes will start to smell at the end of the day. So, you try to strategically place them where people can get at them fairly quickly when they have to go.
Yeah, they're a good location.
One thing I would like to caution people.
Yeah.
Our internet Wi-Fi service is not the best at the park. So we do have an ATM machine. And sometimes the airwaves get overwhelmed with everybody trying to use their credit card. Airwaves, Wi-Fi waves, whatever they are. So we encourage people to bring cash. It's simpler. We only accept cash at the door. We do not accept credit cards.
Okay.
So that's an important thing for people to know. But, if you come with cash in your pocket, it makes life a lot easier. Sooner or later, we'll get good service there with Wi-Fi. But
it's the cell service.
No, it's what she said. When there's people trying to stream their Wi-Fi, use credit cards, all those radio waves. It happens to me when I go to Giant games. There's 85, antennas all around the stadium. They're everywhere. They're on every light post, and everybody's having the same problem. So yeah, it happens.
Yeah, the big issue is with the Verizon, more so than the AT&T, but it just gets so bogged down, and
sure.
And the vendors who take a credit card rely on the cell service to take the card.
Right.
So it's like this double-edged sword thing here, but we are working and trying to see if we can't make improvements on that.
Okay, good.
yeah, we do have an ATM machine, and of course there are various banks in the village where there are ATM machines.
Bring cash.
Bring cash is my advice.
All right. Well, we're up at a break. I want to thank Dr. Kapler, who's has always been great to Ulster County Tourism, always gave us a good location, and it was a pleasure working with you for all those years. I'm sure you'll continue it with my successor, and Pat's going to stick around, but best of luck October 2 and 3. Hope for some nice 70-degree and sunny weather, nice fall weather, clear, right?
That's what we're looking for. And if you want us to stop down before the festival again, just give me a holler.
All right.
It's been a pleasure, Rick.
Well, it's always great seeing you, Doc, and best wishes. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Pat to grill her about some more stuff about the Garlic Festival.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, we're back.
This is Rick Remsnyder with Kingston Community Radio. If you want to call in, we have another half hour, 331-9255. We're going to spend another 10 minutes or so with Pat Pretorious, who's doing the publicity for the Garlic Festival. She's whether she wants to be or not, she's going to be the incoming president of the Saugerties Kiwanis Club. So, it was great seeing Dr. Kapler. He's a great guy.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Having run this festival for all these years is an amazing undertaking on his part.
It's a job. I remember talking with him, and last year was such a difficult time, obviously, and I put him in touch with the fair manager, Gary Newkirk, Ulster County Fair, and the two of them were talking, trading, stories about what they were going to do. And obviously, both the Ulster County Fair and the Garlic Festival didn't happen last year because of the pandemic. And I'm just hoping that this second wave or the Delta virus doesn't happen, because it's got to put a lot of strain on everybody going forward and hoping you're going to have the festival, but just kind of have that looming over your head.
Exactly, yeah. I'm the worrier of the group, so it's constantly on my mind.
Well, what I want to talk about a little bit was, as we mentioned just before the break, that Pat Reppert, who of Shale Hill Farm and Herb Gardens, organized the first Garlic Festival back in 1990. And you said you worked for Pat?
I did.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, Pat needed some help with her bookkeeping.
Oh, okay.
And I did the books at my husband's office. And so I had young children at the time, and they were in school, so I was able to work mornings with her and get her set up on an accounting program. And but it was really, her shop was just charming. And she was very into supporting the garlic farmers, mostly from Western New York. There are a few from around here as well. And she decided to start this Garlic Festival, which was a lot of fun. The first year, I think there might have been 200 people there. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I believe it was her husband, Dr. Reppert, who said, let's put a halt to this because there's too many people on the farm that day. So it just got a little crazy. And then, believe it or not, I was the person who encouraged Pat to call Kiwanis.
Oh, great.
I knew Doc Kapler. I called him and I said, do you want to come and listen to an idea? So I'm not taking all the credit for the Garlic Festival as it is now, but I was instrumental in getting them together. And Doc had this look on his face like, you want us to do what? And it just has grown and grown and become a very successful event. The garlic farmers have just been wonderful. And, I was one of those people who scooped chopped garlic out of a jar until I went to the Garlic Festival.
Oh, wow.
I know. So now it's fresh garlic all the way. But Pat was quite the person. She really had a lot of background in herbs, and there's this one little story. She had this group called the Times 12, who she would give us lectures every week, and then we would weed her gardens.
Oh, nice.
So Dr. Reppert called us the Saugerties Suckers instead of the Times 12, but we enjoyed it. She always was a vast font of information and just so personable. But she really put her heart and soul into the Garlic Festival and continued to work with Kiwanis to make it what it is today. And we dearly miss her. She was just such a wonderful person.
Yeah, I got to talk to her for a few times when she would, the last few years she was there. She's a wonderful woman and loved the Garlic Festival, obviously. How many vendors do you think you have this year? Do you have a ballpark figure on that?
Boy, probably ballpark 150. We have had to change the layout of the Garlic Festival due to excuse me, it's escaping me, CEO, the code enforcement officers. There's a new regulations in New York State that have to do with having more distance between the booths.
Sure.
So for access and for people to, so probably around 150 divided between the garlic farmers, the crafts people, the food vendors, and but it's quite a show. It's always nice to go and see the people that you've been going to for years. My husband especially likes this one pickle guy there. I can't remember the name of it,
right.
But that's where we go every year. So, but we're hoping everything will go smoothly, and if people just remember to be safe.
That's key, yeah.
Yeah, that's the key thing,
How have you been promoting it this year?
Well, we put rack cards on the thruway.
Very nice rack cards. I love the Garlic Festival rack cards. I've seen it. It's great.
Yeah, we have a poster contest every year, and local artists submit their artwork, and people at the Garlic Festival actually get to choose the next year's poster.
Oh, that's nice.
So we work with that. We have a page on Facebook under Hudson Valley Garlic Festival, and this year I started an Instagram account.
Very smart.
So it's been a little tricky because I am not of the Instagram age group. So I've had a lot of help, but I have got some nice hits and,
people viewing it.
People viewing. And usually with our Facebook page, as soon as I post a thing, I get 2,000 hits. It's really amazing. The people who want to know what's going on with the Garlic Festival, what's happening this year. There are a lot of questions I get about, are we going to have to be vaccinated? Are we going to have to wear masks? And as Doc said before, we're going to follow the Department of Health and CDC guidelines at the time.
Do people have to be vaccinated or just wear the mask?
No, we are not requiring vaccinations at this time because that's not a regulation. So and they don't have to wear a mask. We certainly would encourage people to wear masks and social distance. But you know what? When you're standing in line for a food vendor that you really want that garlic chowder, sometimes it's hard to social distance.
Look, it's a challenge. I'll go to a deli, I'll go to, Quick Check or Stewart's, and I have my mask on, and I'm trying to stay 6 feet away from the person in front of me, and then I have somebody who just, without a mask, just right next to me. It's like, what do you, and if you turn around, then you're even in worse trouble. So,
right.
People don't like you if you say something. So, but anyway, hopefully most people will be smart about it, and we'll be in good shape.
I hope so.
And you're outdoors, so just
yes,
keep your distance. You're going to get your food. Just back off a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not going to put the little stickers on the ground. So if people would just use common sense, it would be great. And we're really disappointed that we can't have the chef demos and the lectures this year. But when we started to organize and decide we were going to hold the festival, we decided that putting people under tents next to each other was not a good idea.
No.
So maybe next year, they say we're going to be dealing with this virus for a while. But I think if we all try to work together and be safe, we will have a successful garlic festival.
Well, I hope so. We talked about Ian Flanagan a couple of times. He's not appearing at the
No.
But we did have him. You did have him for a couple of times.
We did. And he has appeared. He just appeared at the Hope Rocks Festival.
Right.
In Saugerties.
Okay.
Because that's someplace that he holds near and dear to his heart. So it was nice to see him there. And you're sure we'd love to have them come back, but
How was the turnout for Hope Rocks?
It was good. It was good. I believe it was that was when we had that hot stretch.
Right, sure.
That week in August, that was, really hot. So I think they had a good crowd. I was away at the time, so I didn't attend.
Well, the one good thing about the Garlic Festival in the first week of October, normally it's beautiful weather. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but it's never too hot. It's 65, 70, 75. So,
yeah. And I would like to say again that the festival is the first weekend in October this year. It's always been the last weekend in September, but due to some parking problems, we had to switch it to the first weekend in October.
Good. Well, I think that'll even work out better.
Yeah.
For you.
Well, I'm afraid we had to bump the Mum Festival.
Oh.
I know, it was terrible. But the Mum Festival will still be going on in Saugerties the following weekend. So that would be the October 10th.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, Pat, we have someone that's going to be calling in a minute or two, so I appreciate you and Doc Kapler coming in. Maybe we'll do it again just before the Garlic Festival. So thanks so much, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on your show.
Oh, well, much luck with the Garlic Festival, and I'll try to make it over.
Oh, I hope so.
Let's get a run again before the festival, because it's not till October. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again.
Good.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right, we have.
Thanks,
thank
Larry.
You.
Yes, have a great
talk
day.
Soon.
Okay.
All right, I think we have Tamara Murray from the Emerson Resort and Spa on the line. I hope. How are you this morning, Tamara?
Good morning, Rick. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, for those that don't know Tamara, she is the marketing director at the Emerson Resort and Spa. And what's your other title?
Marketing and sales director and wearer of multiple hats.
Yeah, I forgot the bearer of multiple hats. So I'm glad you're able to spend a few minutes with us. What is happening at the Emerson?
Oh, there's always something going on up at the Emerson. And this weekend, we are so happy to be hosting Catskill Mountain Shakespeare. So they are a group of some really, really great, talented young actors. They're doing a performance of Twelfth Night. And I heard you mention earlier in the show, Rick, you were made mention of the music series that we've had in the past. And for anyone that's been to that, we set up a tent right on the banks of the Esopus, right behind the Emerson Inn. And that is exactly where this Catskill Mountain Shakespeare, these performances are being held. So you can imagine how magical that is. We've got, Shakespeare happening under the stars. And so this weekend, performances are taking place tonight and tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, at 8 p.m., and then on Sunday at 2 p.m. And tickets for adults are $30, students are $15, and you can purchase the tickets online. Don't go to the Emerson website. You need to go to CatskillMountainShakespeare.com, or if you don't have time to do that, just show up. You can purchase tickets at the door. They've got a little setup there right behind the great room of the Emerson Inn. But if you're looking for something to do this weekend, definitely check this out. I mean, this Shakespeare troupe of actors, they're just absolutely amazing.
Okay, well, for those who primarily are listeners in the Kingston area, it's a short, 20 minutes up 28 to the Emerson from the Thruway Circle, close to that?
Right, straight up Route 28, right off of the Thruway, and you can't miss us. We're going to be on the right-hand side. First thing that you'll see is a very, very long stretch of white fence, and that's kind of the yellow brick road to the Emerson.
Right. So it's also going, how long is the festival going for?
They started last weekend, so these performances this weekend are their final performances. They've had some people coming up doing reviews on the performances. They've received rave reviews. And, I got to tell you, I went to see it opening night, and it is, to be an actor to begin with, obviously takes a special kind of talent. But to be an actor doing Shakespeare, I have no idea how these people are remembering all of these lines. That in itself is worth the price of admission for me, because it's amazing.
Well, they are professionals, so I'm sure they're doing a great job, and it is a nice setting along the bank there, right behind the Emerson. For those people, and I mentioned, I don't know if you're listening or not, Miles Mancuso is one of the many performers that did the music series. How many years did you have that? I know you're not having it this year, but how many years did you and Chris? Of course, Chris's last name escapes me now.
Chris Hensley.
Right.
So we worked with Chris Hensley, and he was the person, he was basically the producer of the shows. He gathered all of the talent for us. And we did it the summers of 2018 and 2019. We had 6 shows in total, very well attended. Again, so much fun, so magical to be doing things outside, right along the stream side. And then, unfortunately, with the pandemic, we weren't able to do it last year. And this year, we had a lot of discussions about it, but the amount of planning that it takes to put something like that together, we would have had to have started planning for it basically late winter. And we just, at that point in time, we really didn't know how things were going to go. So we decided, let's give it another summer, let's hold off on it. But, we've had a couple of talks. We definitely want to be able to bring it back. So we're hoping next summer.
Okay, and I hope you can, because there was a lot of tremendous musicians, very well known, and that Chris did a great job attracting people from Lee Von Helm's band, and his. I know that Barbara O'Brien, who used to manage Lee Von, would be there, and watching all these musicians. It was a great event. So while we have you on, talk about the Emerson a little bit if people are interested in. You got a wonderful spa there, the Wood Notes Grill. Talk about what's going on if people want to stay and eat at the Emerson and go to the spa.
Well, definitely we have an award-winning spa. The spa is really the jewel of the Emerson. All kinds of course, your typical, your facials and massages and things of that nature. But at the beginning of the summer, people may not be aware, we added a complete new line of treatments, and they're all based around spiritual healing. So these are some really, really interesting treatments. They involve tarot card readings to identify any areas of the body where there's blockage. And then after the tarot card reading, then the therapists are using a method of crystal Reiki, where they're using a combination of hands-on, hands-off massage to alleviate the blockage, and also using the crystals to help with alleviating the blockage. And I've had one of these treatments done, and it kind of sounds like, how does that work? I have to tell you, it's amazing. It is amazing how well these things work. So you'd be very, very surprised. So that's been met with a lot of interest by the public. We've basically been super booked with all of that. And then we also moved Wood Notes Grill. So Wood Notes Grill was in the inn portion of the Emerson, and a lot of locals will be very familiar with the Catamount location, which in the past we've used for as our for wedding receptions and thing. It was our event location. Well, there's so much beautiful outdoor seating all around the Cat that we decided to move Wood Notes Grill to that location. So beautiful outdoor seating, right streamside. Beautiful, stunning views of the Esopus, of Mount Trumper. Of course, we have the shops at Emerson, the world's largest kaleidoscope. That was closed to the public for quite some time, but a few months ago we were able to reopen it. And that is just, if you're staying at the Emerson, it's free. If you want to come up and see it, it's just $5 per person, and so a lot of fun to do that. And then we also just introduced Spa Bites, which is open to the public. And that is a new cafe that is located in the inn next to the spa, and that features all kinds of meat boards, cheese boards, veggie boards, made-to-order guacamole, specials with soups and sandwiches, acai bowls, specialty cocktails. I mean, for me, like, sit me down with a cheese board and a meat board, like, I can eat that all day long, every day. And so that's been, like, the word is starting to spread about that, and people are really, really enjoying that. And that's, Wood Notes Grill is open for breakfast and dinner. Spa Bites is open from 10 to 4, and that is Thursday through Monday. And if everyone can just keep in mind, too, that the Emerson's closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but any other time, we'd love to have you come up. Even if you just want to come up and walk the grounds, the Emerson is also dog friendly. Bring up your dog. Take a walk along the property, and also, take a few minutes to visit the Emerson goat team, which we need to get you up there, Rick, to take a look at this. We just brought in a herd of 20 goats to help us eliminate some of the invasive plant species that are growing along the stream banks, which really is a problem all along the Ashokan watershed. But this is a natural way the goats come up. They eat the invasive plant life, things like Japanese knotweed, poison ivy, and let me tell you, these goats are extremely good at their job. And when they first came up, within 24 hours, they'd basically cleared like the size of a football field. So they're a lot of fun to come up, take a peek, watch them while they're busy at work, and they're going to be with us through the end of September.
I wish I would have had those goats at the golf course I played the other day. They could have ate up some of that rough that I was in, Lawrence. So, but anyway, that sounds like a great idea. So if people are interested, Tamara, emersonresort.com, best way to check out what's going on at the Emerson?
emersonresort.com. Check out our Facebook page, our Instagram, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. Give us a call at 845-688-2828.
Want everybody to go to the Emerson, see the kaleidoscope, go to the Shakespeare, go watch the goats, chew on the grass, but there's a lot of other stuff going on up there. Love Rail Explorers, love the iconic Phoenicia Diner. There's a lot of other things to do up that Route 28 corridor, correct?
Phoenicia Diner is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
and Brios, too. I like Brios.
Don't forget about the Ashokan Rail Trail.
Right.
I mean, the Visitor Center, the Catskill Interpretive Center. You can climb a fire tower there. They have one there on property. And the whole entire corridor is happening. You've got to check it out.
Yes, absolutely. Ashokan Rail Trail is fantastic. And Lawrence mentioned Brios, another really
delicious.
Love
that place.
I don't know the name of that.
We go there after skiing. We don't even bother eating in the lodge sometimes. We just drive right to Brios.
Yeah, Brios is great. I love that ice cream place on
They got a lot. That menu is like gigantic. They got everything there, from great pizza to burgers, everything. Good place to go.
Everything, and there's so many new places that have opened up too. Just a little bit down the road, past the Emerson, you've got Woodstock Brewing. Maeve's Place has a bakery and breakfast and lunch. absolutely delicious. And there's also Danielle's Pizza, which, in my opinion, the most amazing pizza on the planet. So good.
Oh, that sounds good. Haven't been there. Well, Tamara, appreciate you coming on for a few minutes this morning. We're about done, so I hope everything goes well with the Shakespeare this weekend. Thanks for letting us know. And continued success with the Emerson Resort and Spa in Mount Tremper. So appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, Rick. Anytime you have a few minutes, I'm happy to come on. It's a pleasure.
Sounds good. All right, Lawrence, good show today.
You going golfing, Rick?
What's that?
You going golfing there, or is it too hot?
I'm on the way, 9:15.
All right, I'm going to cut trees. You're going to play golf, so that's where we're headed.
Where are you going?
I got some trees down at the tower, or so I've got a text message yesterday, so.
Oh, boy.
Got to go up and inspect the property, so that's where I'm headed. Want to do it now before it gets too sticky.
Yeah, don't want to get too hot. All right, well, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Yep, you too. Everyone, we'll be back on Monday with Medical Monday. Have a good weekend.